What's up, good people? How you doing? Yes, you only see me, but the guys are backstage, ready to go. First of all, this is brought to you by Stock Up You today. Stock Up You today. Get taught by the best. Myself, Stocks with Josh with beginners charting, Keenan Grace beginning options, and then my man Stock Mo will be coming with. You know what? I'm gonna let him talk about what he's coming with. All right, hey guys, we got the whole crew in the house. All right, all right, all right, all right. There we go. Boom. Stock Mo. We gonna get right into it. We just gonna ask you to open up and just say hello to the people. We'll come back to you with your full bang, 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 but just say hello to the good people.
Folks, as I always say, let's get out there and make some money. I'm glad to be back. Uncle Larry in the house. I'll tell you what, I'm helping Uncle Larry throw a little treasury section on his course as we speak. Next level stuff. Hopefully, we'll be able to finalize that up over the next few days and or slash weeks. Good things take a little bit of time. Thanks for having me on, Larry.
Yes, sir. Keenan, say your what's ups.
What's going on, everybody? So again, I'm Kenan Grace, and again, Larry, thanks for having us on. Shout out to the whole Stock Squad. If you haven't already got up on Stock Up You, go ahead and download it. You will not regret it. All you'll do is learn, and then that's how we earn.
Come on, love it, man. Stocks with Josh. Chart Master
Hey,
Josh. You shall be called Chart Master Josh. Go ahead.
hey, Larry, thank you for having me on today. We've just come off an incredible high of the LA meet and greet, and we are preparing events like that for everybody out there. We're not going to come to every city, but we've got some cities planned. We have not going to release anything today, but I'm seeing people shouting themselves out. New York, Maryland, Virginia's in the house, and
Where y'all at?
hey, we are coming. We are coming to some of those places. Detroit in the house. Hi, Albert Crump. I'm thrilled to be here. You know that I always come prepared. I've got a stock to talk to people tonight. I know we're going to talk a little bit about a crypto, Larry, that has gone through the roof, higher than anybody expected. It's woken up everybody's interest. And, it's also created, Larry, a ton of confusion. And
Yes.
so, we're going to probably talk on that tonight. And I'm excited about this show, man. Let's get into it.
Mo, we're going to start with you. First of all, before we get into questions, we're going to talk about a little stock, then we're going to go to a little crypto. But I want you to open up, Mo, by talking about whatever you want to talk about. And then we're going to go right into the stock market, then crypto.
Listen, folks, welcome back. I got to tell you, a lot of money being made. I think we're getting arguably some of the biggest money I've made in a single month in my life. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I want to share some of that passion, and I'm going to pull some of this up as we go. And you guys can barely see it, but this is the TMF chart for the family. 1 day, 4% up, 5 days, 13. A month, 27.96. We go from the lows, it's at almost 54% off the lows now. And everybody keeps asking me, what's going on? Well, this isn't the only thing that's been rolling. I don't talk about it a lot on my channel, but the truth of the matter is, this is even some of the best gains we've had. Look at this. Year to date on the Ethereum, 86.11%, $2,233. And you guys know my dream is to become an Ethereum millionaire. To do that, I would need to keep DCAing in, which I'm doing weekly, and I'd need to get it up to around 8,000 a piece. Now, that's a ways away from here, but we could get there. So I want you to know, I think Ethereum hits 3,000, and I think it hits 3,000 once we get the spot ETF for Bitcoin okayed, and it is out there doing its thing. I think because 12 to 18 months later, the Ethereum spot ETF will be okayed, and I think that starts to get priced in through that time. So at that point, I believe by the end of 2025, we could be testing highs again, and so I'm feeling good. So TMF family, put it in the chat if you're a part of the TMF family. Put the fire emoji down there. The Fed will cut rates 100 to 200 basis points in 2024. It will start in March or May at the latest, and you will see a beautiful amount of profits rolling in. For those who have been a part of the day trading today, on my channel at 115 every single day. What a crazy day. I had the biggest win I had after the live stream, go figure, but I did share it with all the Patreons over at the Stock Squad. And we were talking 600% up on my trade. I never made that much money, or I should say that much percentage. I actually made more on trades, but the percentage was the biggest percentage I've ever made on a single day trade in under 24 hours. So crazy stuff, Blair. A lot of action out there. If you're not a part of the Stock Squad, Discord and Patreon, join today. It's next level stuff.
Kenan, what you got to talk about, bro? First of all,
so I want everybody to put this on your watch list if you don't have it already. And it's Solana, ticker symbol SOL, the cryptocurrency. The reason I want you to keep an eye on it is not because you should go buy it right now, because it is on a ever so slight technical breakout, which it was coming down from, and let me just look at it again, coming down from about $20, $21 almost, and now it's just broken out of this downtrend. And remember, it's been significantly lower, but now it's actually pushing back. Actually, hold up. I'm looking at this chart right here, and it's loading in. It's telling me some funny numbers. Let me just go double check, right, just to make sure. Let me look at Coinbase. So it's 62, right? I'm saying it's 10, 20. It's breaking out of this downtrend in the last day or so, and it's up about 1%. We want to see Solana get past, let me get you the correct numbers, 66. This will give us a signal that it's trying to go back and test $80 again. Doesn't mean that it will happen, but it means that it basically can happen according to the charts. Whenever you get in crypto, though, always remember, you got to have your risk management. I know you heard us say this a million times. You're wondering to yourself, why are you guys talking about risk management? Risk management is because your real power is in the amount of capital that you can keep after you start to make money. When you see people like Mark Zuckerberg made $100 billion like in net worth in a short amount of time, what's going on there? He lost 50 and now it's all the way back up. He's over $100 billion. He had a lot of capital from owning Facebook, and Facebook stock went up significantly. So then his capital, what if he was to gamble it all away? Then it would be significantly harder to get back up to these spots. When you get any amount of capital, even if it's $1,000, it's easier to turn $1,000 into $1,100 than it is to turn $100 into $200, even though both of those things are a $100 gain. So keep your eye on Solana, right? I had looked it up on Webull, but they delisted it. So I'm like looking at it right now, but the charts didn't make sense. So I had to switch over to Coinbase if I confused you at all. But again, we're waiting for it to break, and we want to see it break above 66, 68 level. And this will tell us that it's trying to get to $80 and potentially back up to the $100 range. But again, don't just get caught up on the upside. Keep your eye on the downside too, because when it comes down, that's when it can pick us up.
Hey, so listen, Josh, you go up next. Listen, there's a lot going on. Excuse me, something went down the wrong pipe. There's a lot going on. We know there's some of you guys that are just in the stock, that are not into crypto at all. And some of you guys are just into crypto and not in stock at all. So we're just going to talk about a few things that happened with the stock market. Then we're going to go into crypto. Then we're going to close out with the stock market to keep everybody engaged, right? So, Josh, did you know about the job information, the productivity report that was on today? And talk about the stock market, and then for a few minutes, and then I'll yield my position. So you take it all. Go.
Okay, well, I want to keep things super simple. I've only been doing this YouTube. These guys are the old dogs here. They've been on YouTube for a while. I've only done this a year and a half, and I'm constantly learning on how to best communicate information so that more people, or the most or maximum number of people, can understand. So let me just break something down for you. Point one about this market: we've run up, and there's been no capitulation and no selling volume whatsoever has come into these stocks or big tech. So just that, and what that means for everybody. Point one is that we have absolutely no reversal that's been signaled by the charts for this move to stop or keep from continuing to go higher. All right. Now, point number two, we had some really good data from the JOLTS report. And basically what it was is that the increase in job openings it decreased. Okay, so there's less competition for hiring people. Now, if there's a lot of competition, then companies like big tech, Apple and Google, they've got to raise the amount of money to entice people to come work for them, right? The higher wages, they simply pass that on into their goods, causing inflation, causing for things to become more expensive. And so when the labor market is really tight, what they're saying is that it's companies are fighting each other to get employees. Well, right now the labor market has softened up. According to the JOLTS report, it's the softest it's been in the last 2.5 years. So it's definitely a response to what the Fed has been doing. Now, we've always talked about it for the last couple of years, that what the Fed needs to see is a looser or weaker labor market. That was his number one indicator, and he's gotten it. Now, as a result, everybody's now seeing that this guy is going to pivot, right? He's going to be having to lower rates so that we don't fall into a deep state of unemployment. He doesn't want to get us so far into this that, that most of America's unemployed. So he's got to be watching it very carefully. So he's got to begin to cut rates before something like that happens. Now, if all of this is true, if we're getting the correct data in front of us, it does kind of appear, there's one more data point. Then we got the ISM, right? Now, this was very interesting because this was showing that we were basically that the economy was growing. And so it wasn't job openings coming down and productivity coming down. It was actually job openings coming down, the labor market loosening, and productivity and profitability increasing. So that would be what they refer to as a soft landing or a Goldilocks environment. Now that has to play out not just for 1 month, it's got to play out continuously for a while. At the moment it's playing out, which means that we could have a dovish Fed, which means that this market can absolutely go higher. And we're seeing the signs of this. We're seeing Bitcoin hitting a new high. Apple's been doing really well. And I would be surprised if Apple did not get right back up to 200 right now. And you know what? Until we see some signs of volume selling, I think that we've got to trade the trend, and the trend is bullish. Does all that make sense, Larry?
It does make sense. Hey, you know what? I need Kenan's energy. Kenan, look at these likes, man. How can we get these likes up, Kenan? Talk to the people for a minute, because we can't go on with no love. They ain't showing us no love.
Listen, man, if I see all of us in the chat, all of the real dogs in the chat, and we have not hit the like button yet, you know what I'm about to get, and bop, bop, bop. Let me know in the chat what we about to get. Family, hit the like button. Please hit the like button if I go. You already know what time it is. Let's see it. We got 600 people in the chat right now. Hit the like button, and I want y'all to just see a little experiment. How YouTube is funny. When you hit the like button, what they're gonna do is it's gonna draw more people in, because YouTube will actually send it to the people who want to see it. So let's bring more to family on. Shout out to everybody who already hit the like button, straight up and down. And while we are at it, let us know in the chat. Hit the like button first, and then when you do that, let us know in the chat what is a cryptocurrency or stock that you've been dying to ask us about. And while we talk, we're gonna read through them.
There you go. I like that. Just to end this segment on the stock market, it looks like a Christmas rally at this point, right? Today. Now, the year is not out, but it looks like a Christmas rally, wouldn't you say, Josh? It just looks like that we could end. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, we have the issue, Larry, of the need for these investment firms to do what's called window dressing, which means that they had too much cash sitting on the sideline, and they don't really have enough NVIDIA, Apple in their customers' portfolios. And so they're going to buy it, even though it's run up, so that they can close out the fourth quarter, showing their customers going into 2024 that they didn't miss the rally. And so it could turn out that we have a decent December.
Yes. So I've been saying it here that we'll probably end the end of this year up, right? There's a lot of money on the sidelines, and believe it or not, big tech still has room to run up, even big tech. And there is a lot of money on the sideline. And what Josh was saying about the window dressing is that the big money has to show the people that is giving them the money how they are managing the money, right? And so what window dressing really is, if the market continues to go up, right? And then you have your money, you have a money manager managing your money, and they're not in the market, then that looks bad. So they have to do what's called window dressing to get, look, see, I got some money in the market. You got a little of this, you got a little of that. So, but before now, there was a lot of money parked, just like my money and your money, on the sidelines because they were scared of the market. But you and I, especially for those of you that's in the Discord, we've been making money every day, right? And so now it looks like we got a Christmas rally, but be careful. Me personally, I can't speak for them. I believe that there will be a pull off. When? January. I don't know for sure, but I believe that there could be a Christmas rally and then a January cool down. When in January, I have no idea. Now, that's not 100% that it's going to happen, but if it doesn't, that's even for the better. Guess what we're going to talk about, guys? Crypto.
Tell me.
We're going to talk about crypto. All right. Josh, I know you got a lot, and I got a few things, charts pulled up. And so, Kenan, let's start with you. And then, Josh, let's go. I'm sorry, Kenan, Mo, and then Josh. Crypto.
All right, so I got something for you guys. So I did a video on it today, and I touched on it briefly, but I was talking mostly about how I know we're looking at Solana. I know we're looking at Shiba Inu. Dogecoin is 10 years old today, if I'm not mistaken. December 6th, I think it was 10 years ago to the day that Dogecoin was launched. So shout out to all the Dogecoin dogs in the chat. I swear somebody, one of us, like I don't know if it can be said yet, had a conversation with somebody who's really big in the Dogecoin space. I'm gonna leave that alone for now. But I'll say that to say all of the crypto, if you know nothing else about crypto, you got to watch Bitcoin in combination with whatever cryptocurrency you're watching. Yes. I don't care if it's Shiba Inu. I don't care if it's Doge. I don't care if it's Solana. I don't care if it's Ethereum. If you're tracking any of those, you got to remember in your mind that you got to pair it with Bitcoin. Let's say I'm trying to play Shiba Inu. All right, I got the Shiba charts up. I got the Bitcoin charts up. Bitcoin is what's really making everything rise up. So we got to keep our eye on that. So let's say that I want to run some call options on Mara. Let's say I want to run some call options on Riot or even Coinbase. I got to also keep the Bitcoin charts up so I can see what's going on there. And I was talking to Josh the other day, and he made a really good point. You might dig into it today, Josh. And it's about how people feel like they missed some of the Bitcoin run, but they might be able to go and catch the things that follow it more slowly. The sympathy plays that aren't immediate, being the hype cryptocurrencies. It doesn't mean go rush and YOLO into it, but it means understand that these things lag behind, but the lag gives you a chance to get in and then get up and then get out.
All right. So, Mo, you're going to go, and then I'm going to hit in, and then Josh, we're going to get with you. Mo, what you got to say about crypto?
Pull me up in the big one. I'll show it on the screen here. There we go. Let's take a look, folks. This is Ethereum on the daily chart using the bread recipe. Oh boy, you can smell that bread cooking, because right now we have a beautiful, beautiful bullish run happening. We got a little high on the Bollinger Band. What do you expect when we hit that? 3 to 4 to 5 candles of consolidation and then a continuation. The RSI got too high. What do you expect when we have that? A few days of consolidation, and then you're off and running. Well, this is going to be much the same in my opinion. Now, that's the daily chart. But for those out there, they say, Mo, I like the daily. I like the long term a little better. Don't worry. I got you covered, folks. I got you covered. So here's the weekly chart on the candles. Take a look at this. We cross on this candle. We confirm. We get into confirmation. And what do we get when we use the bread recipe with confirmation in between the Bollinger Bands? We get profit. And profit runs. Boom, 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 all these weeks. You tell me what this looks like. Well, yeah, we're moving up. We got more room to move here. I'm not overly concerned. We are moving up on the RSI. This is very beautiful on the weekly chart for Ethereum. So my opinion is that we are still sitting in a good spot. Yes, we need to have a little rest. We have to have that healthy pullback which we are seeing on Ethereum, and I have no problem with that. I am loaded with Ethereum. I continue to put in weekly, and I believe with the good news, the catalyst, the Fed, inflation's dead. That's what we keep hearing. The Fed's going to not cut. They're not going to raise rates anymore. They're going to cut. Well, that's good for risky assets. You're already seeing that. You're seeing that catalyst happen. Money's moving back into crypto at an alarming rate, and which is good because I'm already in. And then, of course, as we have the spot ETF for Bitcoin, hopefully get okayed here in Q1 is what I'm hearing from everyone. If it gets okayed, it'll take 4 to 8, maybe even 12 weeks to get all the ETFs rolled out who get okayed. And then you're going to see a whole change of situation, because then it turns into Ethereum's turn. And I think that'll happen 12 to 18 months from now. So after Bitcoin does this thing. So right now, I think crypto looks beautiful, and I think more money is going to be made.
All righty. Hey, this is the bubble, the crypto bubble. All right, let's pull it out right here. Let's look at it overall. Let me make sure. Boom, boom, boom. That's the crypto bubble right now. More red than we had. That's that's the top 100, right? We could see Bitcoin at the time of filming this. Bitcoin for the day is down actually just 0.3%, but for the week we're up almost 16%. The month 24.7%, and for the year 158%. And then you can see Ethereum right beneath that. I'm going to shelve this, and I'm going to talk about the micro coins. It's just like the blow off tops, right? The little small coins, the Doges and the sheep. As a matter of fact, take a look at my sheep, right? So this is Weeble Pay, right? Remember I was telling you guys that I was averaging in about 5 zeros and 7 and under. Well, I just made one purchase. This is not my DCA. This was a single purchase, and as you could see, I'm up, right? I'm up 41% on SHIB. Now, I'm not selling the SHIB right now because I expect that the micro coins are going to do just like the blow off top does, where the majors and the layer ones peak out, right? And then the micro coins whips up and have a blow off top. I believe that that's going to happen this cycle, right? But remember this, as Bitcoin falls, these tank. So at some point, if you're swinging, you need to take profits as you see fit, right? All right, now, Josh, we're going to get to you to talk about crypto, and then I'm going to go into some of the crypto mining companies.
All right. Get me up on the big screen there, Larry.
You coming.
If you are part of...
Come on.
If you
come
are...
on. There you go.
If you guys are part of the Stock Josh fam, throw a heart in the chat for me. For that group that loves Tesla, I'm going to squeeze in a little Tesla direction for you guys today. Prices compressing between 238 and 242. If we break and close beneath 238, then we could go back and retest 233. Alternatively, if we break and close above 242, I don't see why we wouldn't take a push up to 255. Guys, that's what I see in Tesla. Now, here's the big picture on crypto. This is what I want everybody to take away from tonight, okay? We obviously watching Bitcoin explode, and if you didn't get in it and you didn't get into Ethereum, if you got in now, you know full and well that would be FOMOing. But I want you to understand something. So let's look at the whole suite of altcoins out there. You've got Bitcoin and Ethereum are the big boys. Then you've got about 10 large cap cryptos like Matic and ADA and Solana. Those are large cap coins. And then you've got these micro coins and the meme coins. Now, everything goes up together, but not everything peaks at the same time. That's what I want you to understand. It all comes up together, carried by Bitcoin off of its bottom, but the peak of each of those coins is like a rolling wave. You follow me? So Bitcoin's going to find a peak and it's going to come off of it a little bit, and it might begin to get digested, and it might even be on its way down. and then maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, or within 3 days, all of a sudden ETH will peak out. And everybody will be saying that ETH is beating Bitcoin at the moment. But really, it's just lagging Bitcoin. Then you're going to have the large cap coins. Now, they're not going to all work in conjunction and peak at the same moment, because what you're going to find, if you watch it very carefully, you'll find that how they peak is an indicator of the future performance of those coins, or at least can be. So then you're going to see some of the large cap coins peak. I'm going to give someone a technical. I saw they asked for ADA. The peak on ADA is 48 cents. That's a massive area of resistance. So you're going to see them begin to peak, right? And after everybody is wondering whether or not Bitcoin's going to make another push up, you'll see a bit of time go by. Sometimes it's upwards to a month. And then all of a sudden, the meme coins, people will be saying, well, yeah, Bitcoin's come off 8K from the top, but Dogecoin's holding up pretty well. They'll say, man, it's really only come down about 10%. And then all of a sudden, it will have its peak moment. And so, about 2 nights ago, laying up in the hotel at night, couldn't sleep, looking at my phone, and I wasn't going to be buying more Bitcoin because I bought enough Bitcoin during the winter and I just want to ride it into profits in 2024, 2025. And I thought to myself, well, what can I swing trade right now? And I thought, you know what? The meme coins they've not had their moment yet. They're come up off their lows, but they've not had their moment. And so I'll just tell you, Larry, I dropped 30K between SHIB and Doge. I bought a little bit more SHIB, I think, and then, no, it was a little bit more Doge and then a little bit less SHIB, but largely I got 30K. Today, or just in the last 24 hours, when Bitcoin had that little bit of a peak, shortly after that, that was up 6K. So on that trade in the last 48 hours, I hit a high of 6K. I think I'm sitting at around 3K up on it now, or right around 2,600. And then you guys would say to me, okay, well, where's this going, Joshua? We've come up off the lows. It's theoretically possible that Dogecoin could shock everybody, because remember, it's called a change of character. I want you guys to remember that term in your charting journey. When stocks stop working within a trade range and they have a change of character. Now, everybody would agree, Larry, wouldn't you agree that Bitcoin's had a change of character?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, getting up to 45K is a change of character. But
Yes.
somehow people expect Dogecoin to obey its 10-cent barrier. Well, a change of character for Dogecoin would be a surprise shoot above 10 cents back to its local high of 16 cents. And if Dogecoin is going to have a future, it's got to get back up to 16 cents. And I personally think it will. Now, I will be a profit taker. And then that 10-cent barrier that you had watched for a long time, after it runs up to 16, then that's going to come back to 10 cents, 9 cents, and that's going to prove to be future support. I will be selling at 15 and a half. There you go.
I want you to stay put. Anybody can jump in. I want to show something based on what you were talking about, Josh, that I feel the exact same way, and I'm playing it the exact same way. So if you look at Bitcoin, and this is just in reference, all right? If you look at Bitcoin over the last 6 months, right, it's up way more than Dogecoin, right? But we all know that these micro coins move at a faster rate, right? So to Josh's point, and I'm just trying to make it, to Josh's point, if you look at this year to date. Dogecoin hasn't moved, and Bitcoin is up 164%, right? So what I'm thinking is going to happen, which has happened before, Doge and SHIB and those type of coins will make a bigger move towards the end, right? But it's slingshot, just like you're pulling something, it just whipsaws, right? But it does this, and then it comes down faster. So the altcoins are just whipping faster, but it's at the tail end, right? And so that's why they call it a blow off top, right? And so I 100% agree with you, Josh, and I'm playing it the same way. And there will be, I believe, in this cycle, especially for the small coins. Now, what I showed you in my SHIB is just what I have in here. I have a bigger amount in my Coinbase, right? And I kind of did the same thing you did, Josh. I just bought a little sooner, and it's up very nicely. But I'm looking very soon to start taking some profits on my ship. And when it comes back down, then I'll load up again. Anybody else want to chime in on this before we go to crypto miners?
Kenan, you're muted.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I want everybody to check this out on your own. So if you're watching this, and you could also go to your computer or pick up another device, I want you to see, because when we were doing the event in LA, we were talking about having certain disciplines, having certain rules that you follow, and always understanding some underlying things that are at play. I want you to go and look at the price of Dogecoin, look at the price of Shiba Inu, and look at the max that Bitcoin has gotten to in the last, let's call it 18 months. What's the highest point that it got to? Me and Josh were talking about this yesterday. We seen Bitcoin hit from 43 to 44,000, all the way up to 45,000 and 0 cents. Not 10 cents, not 20 cents. It hit
Right.
an exact number. Why is all of these things suspicious? Well, I'll give you the other two. Bitcoin hitting that round number like that is a little odd. I'll tell you another thing that's odd. When you look at Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, other than the zeros, they're almost the exact same price. When they
Exactly.
were both 6 cents
Yep.
and Shiba Inu was many, many, many zeros and six, and then they're both seven and then they're both eight. What is this telling you? Who can control a market like this? The institutions are at play in the background. The algorithms are at play in the market with us as well. So when I say watch your disciplines and think about these things, remember, we are in a game that we're playing where the institutions have just controlling it like a string. So you got to just keep these things in mind. And why are they doing this? Mo alluded to it earlier, how they're kind of preparing for this Bitcoin ETF that's coming out, which when you really understand how ETFs work, what they do is they give those who can control them sort of tax benefits because they can trade it and it just works better than just buying and selling just shares in general. So there's a whole lot going on in the background. I really want you to educate yourself and start paying attention to the patterns and trends that you see. This is why people are making money on Shiba Inu and Dogecoin now, and other people are telling you, "Oh, be afraid of it. Crypto is a scam." No, crypto is something that you have to be cold and calculated with because some of it is a scam, but also there are other portions of it that is not a scam that you can make money with. You just got to be able to differentiate between the two.
So check this out. Jamie Dimon was on the Hill today talking. All of the bank CEOs were on the bill today. You know what Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, said? He said that the government ought to shut crypto down. He verbally, quote, and I say, shut it down. It's a scam, right? For those of you that know, like I know, he knows better, right? Now, number one, it's a threat to the way he normally takes care of business, being the CEO of a bank, right? But for him to be talking about that right now, when they're talking about banking, there's a lot of fear going on, right? But in fear, when you have guys like that talking, they know exactly what they're doing. They are manually pushing the price down before even they load it up. I want you all to go find that clip. I'm going to play it tomorrow. I want you to download it and keep it. And then I want you to pull it back up, let's say 6 months from now, and see what Chase, JP Morgan, see their positions with Bitcoin. And then you'll see the game that have been played for years. All right, let's go to the
They tell
crypto
you don't
mine.
buy it, and
Go
then they
ahead.
go buy it.
You got it.
They tell you don't buy it, and then they
Yep.
go and buy it. And they have
Exactly.
public positions that you can see for yourself while they get on the news and they tell you that it's a scam and stay out of it. But
Absolutely.
meanwhile, what they're really doing is they know what they do. Whenever you see a price target, a new price target coming out for something, they probably went long on it the day before. So then they're telling you, hey, now you guys can go and load up. But they don't want you to get in before they do, because then you're going to increase the price. They rather get in and
Exactly.
then have you run it up on their own position.
Yep. Because again, they're snobs. They think it's absurd for them to pay the same price that you paid for anything. All right. So let's see here. Let me pull this up. Now, I am going to pull this up. Let's see if we can get this in the window. There we go. This is weird how it's all adjusted. All right, let's get into some of the crypto miners because I know people want to know about Mara Riot and CleanSpark. So, as you can see here, I drew the Gorgian channel. No, I didn't. I was going to get like shots. So, Josh sent this chart over. I'm controlling it from this end. Josh, I want you to talk to the people about this chart. About this is Mara. For those of you that don't know, we're going to hit Mara and we're going to hit Riot. Those are the only three that we're going to cover on this video. Josh, go Mara.
Well, okay, let's just talk about one of the big questions. Can you put me up on the big screen, Larry, before we go into the charts?
Absolutely. Keep talking, and it's going to take a minute. Go ahead.
So this is the big topic that everybody needs to kind of digest, and that's this idea that that why is Mara only sitting at around $15 when Bitcoin has gotten all the way up to $45, and the last time that Bitcoin was 30,000, Mara was $20. Why is it showing such significant weakness? Now I'm going to tell you guys, at some point, this whole move up on Bitcoin is characteristic of what we should have expected after we came out of the crypto winter. This was absolutely characteristic. In the previous 3 cycles, when we come up from the lows, there's typically been a near 100% pickup or more. So we had to have a minimum of 100% pickup. So when we were at 30K, we knew that wasn't the end. If we didn't get it, it was going to send some shockwaves through the charters as to why we didn't, what could that possibly mean. But we did get it, right? Now, we've gotten to a point where if it stopped going any higher from this point forward, it would be characteristic of previous cycles. And one of the characteristics of previous cycles is after it makes this massive push up out of the winter, which is what we're seeing today, we then get a 100-day or 120-day slow bleed off to the halving event. Now, people have been repeatedly saying to me on my page, Josh, you said that Mara was going to $5 and you said that Riot was going to go to $6.80. The prediction always was that at some point before the halving event in 2024, these had the potential of facing a slow bleed all the way back to these core support levels. Now, here's something I want to point out to you. When Bitcoin in its December lows hit 20K, it sent Mara all the way down to $3, and it sent Riot all the way down to $3. And so when Bitcoin was just 20K, it brought those all the way down to $3 and $5. One of the things I want you guys to take away from is how extremely volatile the miner stocks are. If the market believes that we have a 120-day bleed off of Bitcoin, they're going to punish the miners more severely, and you're going to see lower lows. Now we've got the trade range, Larry, is defined as $3 to $20. That's the trade range, $3 to $20. We know that they hit $3, Riot and Mara, when Bitcoin hit $20. Okay. Now we see it up at $45, and they're barely between $15 and $17. And so I think the main point that I want everybody to have a takeaway is once Bitcoin cools off, the miners will get punished more, and there is a potential for them to go anywhere from where they're sitting right now all the way down to $3. And I have said that it would be bullish if they only came to $5 and to $6.80, making a new higher swing low. Now, I just want to throw it out. At the moment, we don't know what will happen, but that's the prediction always was that that's where they could get at the lowest moment directly before the halving. And final thought, Larry.
No.
Everybody needs to understand.
I want to show this chart again. I want you to stick a pin right there. I don't want you to end it because Once you finish saying what you're saying, then we can apply it to Riot and CleanSpark, the same thing. Guys, I told you guys this for those of you that watch my page. I told you guys this months ago, and even when Josh was a guest on this show, I showed you guys the last 2 cycles, the bleed off, 3 to 4 months bleed off after these have ran up, right? I did this exact same thing 2020 into 2021. Now, Josh technically can show you the potential, but I want to stress this very clearly because I said, Josh, I don't think you stressing that clear enough because somebody is going to come back here and say it didn't come down to 3 if it comes down to 4. They're going to say it didn't come down to 5 if it comes down to 590, right? There is traditionally a bleed off of all of the miners, all of them, right? Leading up till. Now, Josh, I want you to talk about the chart. That's why I want you to talk about this chart and just tell them the potential, and then we'll go to the other ones.
Okay, off the bat, looking at Mara, if Bitcoin hits 48, I would think it would be near impossible for Mara not to hit that $17 level. Right now, what I would point out to everybody is if Bitcoin moves sideways, Mara is going to have the potential of moving between the range of $17 and $12. That's the trade window that it's in. It has support largely at $12. It could easily come back, find support at $12, move sideways, and if Bitcoin has a final push up to 48, then we could have this push up between 17 and 20. But I think everybody sees that Bitcoin is way higher, and yet Mara simply is not achieving the previous high, and it doesn't look as if it will. It's had an incredible swing up. If I were to be myself, if I wanted to get in and begin to DCA after Bitcoin finally cools off, and we think that the miners have cooled off, I would say that anything between that $9 window and that $5.40 window, anything, if it came back and it spent some time in that range, that in my mind, right before the halving event, would be a very nice DCA range, that $9 to $5.40 range. But don't get scared, get prepared, like Larry likes to say. And if it came all the way down to 540 and it broke down even further, be prepared not to dump your bag and realize that this thing could get between 540 and 3. I'm not calling that. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Right now, we're between 12 and 17, and I think a lot of us would love to see this thing come back and find support at 9 and begin to DCA between 9 and 540. And personally, I want everybody to remember that Mara had previously been up at $17 when it was hot. This was previous to 2020. And the day before the halving event, it had bled all the way off to $2.50. And so if you think that this will have no bleed whatsoever potential, then you're just not following the volatile nature of the miners.
That's great. And
can I jump in real quick before we change the screen?
Yeah,
Josh,
go ahead.
You got me wanting to shake off. You got me wanting to shake off some of the rust and get back into the technical game right now. Do you guys see this clear pattern on the chart right here? If you didn't understand it at all, and you see where at the top under the word Mara, and then it says D for daily, it says 17 right there. If you look at this peak, it's like a green bar and then like a red bar, and it's a peak. If you go back like a few months, you can see that exact same peak again. Family, this is a very strong double top pattern on the daily chart. What is this telling us? This is telling us that there are institutional sellers up here. That's a lot of money. There are retail sellers up here, and everybody's in agreement that they're getting out of it right there, and then they'll push it back down to that zone that Josh is telling you about. However, like I was saying before, Mara is not something that's only going to run on the technicals. It's something that's also going to run on the momentum of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin remains strong, and by strong, I consider strong on Bitcoin to stay above at this current leg, above about, let's call it 42, 43,000. If it can stay above that and go and touch the 48,000, I can see it going and touching the 17 again. But if Bitcoin breaks into the 50,000, I can see this double top having enough momentum at that point
Push
to
through.
break above the $20 range. And if we can hold that $20 range for about a few days, the charts are telling me that we can go to 32. But remember, don't just listen to the upside. Josh and Larry were just telling you about what can happen on the downside, which is more realistic. But I also want you to see how it looks on both ends. So you can see, okay, what if we did pass the $17, $18, $19 zone, and what would cause it? Bitcoin pushing into the 50,000. Then we break past this double top and hold above it for about a day or two. Then I can see Mara going to even the level of 32 before encountering a whole lot of resistance again.
Exactly. So now, because Riot is so close to Mara, let's just skip that and let's just go right to CleanSpark. Okay, let's go right to
You got to love that chart.
Gotta love
You
it.
got to love Spark, man.
Yes, sir.
I thought that was a rocket. That's a chart?
You thought it was a rocket?
Man, that thing.
I thought that was a rocket ship.
You, man.
Look. Hey, I need to have another CEO on the
thing.
channel so they stock can take off. I'm working on it, y'all.
Right.
Hey, Josh, listen.
They'll be lucky if they do.
There you go. Hey,
CEOs get lucky and get on the Larry Jones show. It's good for your company.
Thank you, sir. We working on it. So, listen. I know you guys can't see me, but hear what Kenan just said. Even if that happened, even if it pushed past 17 going back tomorrow, I still expect a bleed off. And it's a slow bleed off, right? And it's a long bleed off, right? And so just keep that in mind, right? So Josh, let's go to CleanSpark.
Okay, well, I want to address this comment I see over on the right here. Brett Sissom, this is a common question. He says, I am just thinking that crypto may be more mainstream. If so, would that not hold significantly stronger supports? I would be surprised to see another 70 to 80% drop during the winter again. So here's what we're dealing with. There is a battle between technical analysis and fundamentals. Okay. And, a technical analysis person is going to err on the side of history. These charts do not repeat themselves. History does not repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes. And the rhyming nature to these meme stocks is that they are absolutely at their lowest in crypto winter the day before the halving event. Okay. So now, does that mean that that's going to happen again? No, but everybody should be aware of that. And if they're buying Mara at $17 to $20 range, somebody needed to have loved them enough to tell them that Mara hit its lowest low the day before the halving event. When is the halving event? April 2024. Okay. Yes. And you know what, guys? There's tons of reason and motivation. Kenan brought it up a moment ago that he is seeing institutions. There's institutions at play here. BlackRock has officially entered the building and joined the show. So we're going to see more manipulation than we've ever seen before. And so real quick, someone also asked, what is the halving event? The halving event is a part of the Bitcoin blockchain code that says after so many transactions have been processed, so it's not a specific date. I keep referring to 2024, April of 2024, but that is an approximation. So when so many, so when so many transactions have been completed, it kicks in a new gear, and the miners, let's say they used to get 6 Bitcoin for reward, they no longer get that. They now get 3. So they get their reward cut in half. Now that has caused the value of Bitcoin to go exponential. And so there is the belief, and it's been working that way. This whole crypto market began with Bitcoin, and at the moment it doesn't look like it's going away. And so when the miners have made a ton of money, don't cry no tears for them, because Bitcoin was literally only it was between 4,000 and 8,000 pre-2020. So less than 3 years ago, this this $44,000 asset was between 4 and 8,000. So they're not going broke, right? And so when the miners get cut in half, it opens up a new window for Bitcoin price to be driven up. And typically at that time, the mining stocks are their most punished. And so, yeah, we've got changes of narratives, we've got changes of fundamentals, but the big picture view is that this has happened before. We expect Bitcoin to take off in 2024. It's doing what it was supposed to do today so that that event in 2024 would be confirmed. Everybody, let's take a step back from this crypto conversation and realize that crypto is alive and well, and that people are going to be talking about selling these assets. Not at people ask me, well, what is ADA going to be? ADA went up to 46 cents the other day. I don't expect to sell my big bag of ADA until we're talking $2. So we are coming up out of winter. Everything here should be way more valuable after April of 2024.
Okay. Okay. So you may hear a slight noise. So just I'm doing a lot right here. So listen, here's what I think, and we'll move from here. Here's what's going on. Jamie Dimon was talking about, and you need to know this because it affects all of these coins, all of crypto, Bitcoin, Shiba Inu, all of this is affected, will be affected by what the Fed is doing, by what the SEC, Gary Gensler, even his own mama don't like him, is doing, and these bankers, right? Now you got the big institutions, BlackRock, that says, yeah, you know what? We know how to do it. Jamie Dimon said today that it is a source used for money laundering and all of this, right? But the facts of the matter is that you could track Bitcoin better than fiat cash, better than credit, better than a wire transfer. It is written into the blockchain. That's why they call it blockchain. It is a better source. And yeah, people are saying, but people are using it to do money laundering. They've been doing that with fiat currency since the Bible days, okay? It's the same thing. When they finish with this argument and they're gonna lose, and it's not that I'm just salivating over cryptocurrency, but if you take the time and listen to all of the arguments that they make, it don't hold up against water. It don't. I've done deep studies on this. It just doesn't hold up. And like Josh said, it's a system where there's a finite amount. The halving, every halving cycle, there's half of the Bitcoin mined, and the miners get paid in Bitcoin, right? So there's a finite amount. Unlike gold, no one knows how much gold is in the world because somebody could go to another gold mine and find new gold, right? And so if they find new gold, what does that do? What does that do to the existing gold? It dilutes it. But with blockchain, it's a finite amount, and that's it. And that's what our system is scared of, right? So I'm going to leave it right there. You guys do your own study, but it's way deeper than what we think. It's way deeper than Bitcoin and Shiba Inu. It's a monetary system. All right. Any of you guys, Mo or Kenan, any of you guys have anything to say?
Mo, go ahead.
No, not on not on the cryptos. You guys know I'm all about that. I'm with Larry on that. Ethereum it's very transparent. They're just afraid. Think about it. I've said this before that Ethereum is going to, and you got to understand the banking is like a dinosaur. Ethereum is the next generation. It is way beyond the capabilities, and especially the speed of transactions and how many transactions it will be able to do into the future, and other cryptos with that, not just Ethereum. And so the banking industry is absolutely terrified. You're telling me we're going to be able to send money anywhere around the world within a second, boom, and you can have 100,000 transactions, hopefully soon, in a matter of a second, and the fee could be minuscule, and you don't have to go to the bank, and it's all on the blockchain. Everything's there. Yeah, that's why banks are terrified. They lose all that money they make off all the companies that try to do this. So they're terrified. Yeah, they want to stop right away. Anything that affects their business. If you had a McDonald's at the corner and you own that McDonald's and they were bringing a Wendy's and a Burger King across the street and they said, do you think we should allow it? What would you say? Keep that in mind.
Hey, guys, we're gonna cut it off, man. We've got a lot in. We're gonna continue. You guys know I'm gonna continue to update you what I'm doing with the crypto miners. I have two different platforms that I'm buying on. So let me just explain to what I'm saying. Now, I know Josh just showed you a chart and showed you, I believe it was 5 down to, or 6 down, or something, 7 down to 3. That is not my approach. The fact of the matter is Josh can have his approach and I can have my approach, and we both make money. What my approach is, as you guys saw, that beginning January, I started a little late, but I caught up, and I've been dollar cost averaging, right, at $25 a day, right? For someone else, might be $5 a day. Now, why such a small amount? Because when it comes down, I'm going to double down on that, right? But that's not the biggest sum that I'm going to buy. In my Moo, I have one of each, and I haven't made any purchases because I'm waiting realistically for 2024. And just like Josh said, and I showed you guys many months ago, these crypto miners generally bleed down right until the halving. And then that's where I'm going to load up. So I suggest you guys have some dry powder. And at some point, you have to do your own due diligence to see where you're going to get in. All right. Hey, I also want to shout out Stock Brother for the super chat. Kenan, I want you to, you know what? Josh, you're going to say goodbye. And then Mo, you're going to say goodbye. And then we're going to let Kenan talk about for 1 or 2 minutes the event. And then Kenan, you can sign us off. Okay. So Mo, while you up, you say your goodbye.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on here, Larry. It's always great to be with the squad. It was great. Everything's been so much fun. We're making lives better. And if you guys aren't a part of the Stock Squad right now, click the link down below. Come on over and join us at the Stock Squad. It's been another wonderful live stream, and it's always great to have everyone together.
Josh, what you got to say?
Well, okay, I'm going to keep it simple. Everybody ultimately might walk away from this conversation. Put me up on the big screen, Larry. They might walk away from this conversation thinking that I'm shorting Mara and Riot. And I don't know what the other gentlemen's positions are, but it wouldn't shock me if I own the most Mara and Riot out of anybody in this conversation, because if you are a member of the Discord, about a month ago, I put out a hot trade alert and bought thousands of shares of Mara and thousands of shares of Riot, and I bought calls on both of them. The calls went up 300%, 100%, 100%. I am happily making money on the miners, and it's not time to sell yet. Okay, I did take profit on some Mara, but I'm holding all the rest of it, going in and out of the options. If you want to get these types of trade alerts so that you know when I'm taking positions in or out of the miners, I would suggest joining the Discord, right? I am not going to share every single one of my trades there, but I do give one really good hot play at bare minimum every week, which has been doing really well. And if you guys want to get updates on what I'm doing with the miners when I buy them or sell them, I'm not going to tell you every single last one of my miner trades, but I'll give you something over there that ought to do pretty good. That's how I'll leave you guys today.
I appreciate that, Josh. And since we got to talk about the miners, listen, you guys saw me a few months ago make enough off of the miners to buy a full Bitcoin. Leave me a coffee cup if you participated and made some money on those plays. Mara and Riot. It's just like Josh said. A few months ago, we bought the options and we bought the stock. And then we sold what? Right at the top. That movement may happen again and again, even before the halving, right? So it's important to listen, all right? It's important to listen. So now what did I do with that? I bought another Bitcoin. I did exactly what I said I was going to do, right? And where did I buy it at? way lower than where it is now, right? And so what I'm going to attempt to do is to do it all over again, and we will be keeping you guys. You know, I'm going to talk about it on the page, but I'm going to do before Kenan. I'm going to do a soft sale on the Patreon. You're getting the best of Mo. Mo is over in the Patreon doing live trades. You're getting the best of Kenan, myself, and Josh. Why? We can go there right away. We don't have to stop, get out of the car, run and make a video, or we need to, Josh needs to show charts and everything. He should just click, boom, he's there. He's on, right? And so that's why. For those of you that are in the Patreon, leave coffee cups, heart, Tesla cats, anything you want to leave it in the chat if you've been making money, okay? Now, Kenan, you take us out, and I want you to talk about, man, I want to just tip my hat to Kenan Grace, y'all. We raised over $31,000 in LA for children with cancer. Kenan spearheaded the whole entire deal, and I was just blessed to be in the house. I salute you, Kenan. You a king, Kenan. All right? You a king, brother. You a king, and you're doing kingdom work. I just want to say this publicly, and shout out to Chris Sane also, too. Take it away.
So everybody who's listening to this right now, first of all, I want to give Larry a major thank you for that, because I appreciate that, and it means a lot coming from you. Everybody listening, go ahead and put a dove emoji in the chat. I started off. Type in your emojis, put a dove, so I know you're listening. There are people who have lost their children. There are people who have suffered through watching their family members suffer through cancer. And we know how painful that can be to even witness. And some of you may have even had cancer yourself. Imagine that as children who haven't had the opportunities that you had. Like I say, the opportunities to go to school because they're just so young. And then they got cancer. They don't understand what's going on. They haven't had the opportunity to fall in love. They haven't had the opportunity to go and fall at the park and scrape their knee because they're 2 years old and they got cancer. What do? We decided that it was time to try to support them and give them some relief. Now, we can't cure cancer, but we can leverage the platform that we have and do everything in our power to try to help those who are less fortunate than we are. So I want to say to everybody, I want to give you the most major salute. When we talk about the Stock Squad, you think we just talking about Larry. You think we talking about Josh. You think we talking about Mo. You think we talking about Kenan. We talking about every single one of you. We talking about all of us together. We are the Stock Squad, and that's how we make these things happen. And I want to include Chris Sane into that. We all of us all together. Me, you, the four of us, the viewers, everybody who's putting a dove in the chat, everybody who hit the like, everybody who hit the donation and put some positivity back into the world. Again, we couldn't have did it without you. And going forward, just know we can't do it without you even still. So thank you for the support, because I want to say this, and I said this for years. There's a difference between a viewer and a supporter. You guys are the supporters. And that's why we are in the position that we are in. And that's why we are able to make the impact that we can make, all because of you. And I want to say, I thank you for that. And from the Southern California Cancer Foundation for Children, they thank you for that as well. They reached out to us and they told us that they really appreciate it. And they wanted me to extend that to all of you. So thank you for that so much. Much love. And like Josh would say, peace and blessings.
Hey, appreciate all you guys. Listen, I know a lot of people are asking about HUD 8. Look, for those of you that got questions about HUD 8, before you ask Josh a question, before you ask me a question, on any platform, I want you guys to go and read this first, right? This is Investor Place, okay? Investor Place, HUD 8, okay? Completes U.S. Bitcoin merger after 400% rally, okay? Go and read that. I want you to read that. That's your homework, okay? And some of the numbers, whenever there's a merger, whether it's a forward merger or reverse merger, the numbers that you see in your portfolio are not accurate. So just give it a few days, but go and research that, okay? We love you guys. We try to hit you with a lot in a short period of time. And we're just going to sign off right now by saying live, love, laugh, and learn. We'll see you on the next one.